Good morning. My name is Giuseppe Micoli. I am an Italian trustee member of the board of Serra International. I would like to bring you the greetings of all the Italian Serrans, united in spirit and efforts to all Serrans around the world. This is what I would like to present in this short video. First, a brief description of the Italian Serra. Second, the objectives of Serra International Strategic Plan Vision 2035, on which the Italian Serra will focus its attention. Third, two significant activities of the Italian Serra. Let's start with a brief presentation of the Italian Serra. It is composed of 52 clubs, counting 933 members. After several years of decline, membership has now stabilized and we expect a positive trend during this year, thanks also to the reopening of the Foggia Club and the upcoming chartering of a new club in San Marco, Argentano. Let's move to the strategic plan Vision 2035. First of all, the Italian Serra fully shares the overall goal of promoting a culture of vocations. We believe that this implies the promotion of all vocations in all spheres of society. In developing its own specific strategic plan, the Italian Serra has focused on parishes and on communication. The strategic plan specifically calls for greater involvement of Serra in parishes. However, it should be kept in mind that the Italian reality is peculiar, as parishes are small and scattered throughout the territory. Parishes do not have schools nor a vocation ministry. Due to the shortage of priests, many parishes will be closed or merged in the future. The Italian Serra should be prepared to seize the opportunities offered by this new reality. A second goal of the plan on which the Italian Serra will focus is communication at all levels, that is, from inside the Serra organization to the outside world and thus to the society. From the National Council leadership to the individual clubs, from individual clubs to all clubs, national and international, stimulating exchange of ideas and news so that all clubs can feel part of one big family, in unity of thought and intention. Let's now briefly describe two successful activities of the Italian Serra. The first one is the National School Contest. Organized every year since 20 years, an average of 200 schools and 5,000 students participate. The contest aims to encourage young people to reflect on the important values of man and society, while promoting a culture of life understood as a vocation to service. The work can be an essay, a story, a drawing, an artistic work, a song, a poem, or a short video. This year's theme was Being for the Other. Everyone can make a contribution to realize a society that is more welcoming and friendly, compassionate and supportive, just and free. The second activity is the National Photo Contest. It is proposed especially to young people, aiming to promote a culture of encounter that opposes any form of isolation. The theme of the last edition was A Journey into the Beauty of Places. Several hundred of photos participate to this contest. The Italian Serra wishes you all a successful convention under the protection of the Virgin Mary and San Junipero Serra. Always forward, never back.
The Macau Serra Cup is under the Special Administrative Region of China. The Diocese of Macau was established in 1576, which was the first diocese in the Far East and served as orders to the Far East. The St. Paul's College in Macau trained many seminarians and was the first Western-style university in the Far East and China. Therefore, Macau can be said as the cradle of vocations in the Far East. The Macau Serra Cup was established in 1977 and approved by the headquarters in 1978. There are 21 members at present and no other branch in Macau region. Over the years, our cup has cooperated with the Macau Diocese and other orders to organize different types of youth vocational activities, such as vocation camps, outings, lectures, visits to religious orders, and also held various ball games in seminaries for all Macau deacons, thereby proclaiming the vocation. In addition to promoting 31st Cup to respond to the development of the times and technology, we have also invited the Diocesan Social Communication Center to co-organize documentaries for priests and sisters to share their vocational experiences, so that the youngsters can learn, witness God's grace, peace, joy, and the cause of the mighty Lord. In the past 47 years, we have 5 priests serve as our chaplain. Among 2 of them turned to be bishops. Thus, the relationship between the diocese and us is very close. We are under the parish societies and other vocational activities of the diocese, maintaining good relations with the priests and sisters. During the Day of Vocation each year, we have been responsible for the High Mass, tea parties, and offering souvenirs to the priests and sisters for their diamond, gold, and silver anniversaries to appreciate their service and contributions. During the Day of Vocation each year, we have been responsible for the High Mass, tea parties, and offering souvenirs to the priests and sisters for their diamond, gold, and silver anniversaries to appreciate their service and contributions. In the coming days, we will strive to strengthen the promotion of vocations online and convey the updated information from Serra International to our bishop and the persons in charge of the seminary. We will recruit as many as possible parishioners to join our cup, especially to allow the principals of our local Catholic schools to know. We will also invite various religious communities to associate the vocational activities.
Brazil, a country in South America where the majority of the population is Catholic. The prayer and great work to support seminarians, priests, and religious has been taken very seriously by Brazilian Serra members. We are currently making great efforts to expand the vocational work with Serra, mainly in regions before unreached. In the north of Brazil, where the Amazon is located, we have the approval of several bishops to start Serra. Another very important work under development is the renovation of existing clubs, so that we will have continuity. Members are being encouraged to bring their children, nephews, and friends to festive meetings with the aim of learning about our work and encouraging them to follow our example. The harvest is large and there are few workers. Serra now more than ever.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to my fellow Sarans around the world. My name is Fran Pollen Barrett, and I am the president of Serra Council for Canada. Canada is a big country, stretching from sea to sea to sea. However, our population is not that big. As of last census, Canada has a population of 40 million. We have 5 Serra districts in Canada, in Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia and the Maritimes, British Columbia and Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. We only have 18 clubs, 10 of which are in the province of Ontario, with 6 clubs in the Greater Toronto Area. Our total membership in Canada is only 361. And so, as you can see, there are lots of room to grow. We are fortunate that Serra International has come up with a 3-year strategic plan, chaired by our very own new Serra International President, Dr. Moira McQueen. And the way I look at it is, we now have a ship that has a sail, and it makes it easier for us to direct where we want to go. Our 3-year plan has 3 goals with 16 priorities. At first, it appears and it sounds to be daunting and overwhelming. But let us remember that this is for a 3-year plan. We cannot do, and it's impossible to do everything in just 1 year. What we have done in Canada is to focus on a couple of goals with few priorities for the first year. Goals and priorities that are realistic. After that, we will refocus on other goals and priorities for the second year and then for the third year. The following are some of our programs and activities that we do feel have created Serrans a good impact within Canada. We support our priests, religious, and seminarians through our priest and religious appreciation dinners, golf invitations, welcome kits to new seminarians made up of personal toiletries and items, and the popular ordinary dinner for transitional deacons soon to be ordained and attended by almost 2,000 people. For potential members, we invite friends, parents of priests, religious, and seminarians in person to our holy hour, the adoration for vocations, our virtual weekly rosary for vocations, and intercessory prayers, traveling vocations chalice program, pulpit announcements. This year, we initiated the vocations coins for priests and the religious, and hope to plant seeds for young men and women who are discerning. Later on, we invite them as guests to our monthly meetings. This way, their interest is further developed, that leads them to becoming members. The harvest indeed is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Let us all pray to our Lord of the harvest that He gives us the bountiful one. Thank you so much for listening, and may God bless us all.
Greetings to Serrans all around the world. My name is Ann Rote, and I'm the president of the U.S. Council of Serra International. Today, I'd just like to speak to you for a little bit about one of the wonderful initiatives that the U.S. Council was involved in this past year. And it was the Eucharistic Revival, actually the National Eucharistic Revival, because this was a program started by our U.S. bishops, and the whole purpose was to make people fall more deeply in love with our Eucharistic Lord. Sometimes there's been that problem with people not believing in the real presence, and our bishops wanted to address that. So they came up with a 3-year program, and it culminated this past July with a National Eucharistic Congress, actually the 10th National Eucharistic Congress held in the United States. It was held in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is sort of the heartland of the United States. And over 50,000 people attended. It was held over a 5-day period. Now, Serra, we decided to be a major sponsor of the National Eucharistic Congress. And as that major sponsor, we had some wonderful things available for us. And one of them was 50 booths. And those 50 booths, we offered them to religious organizations, religious sisters, brothers, seminaries, that might not be able to afford the trip to Indianapolis and then also to get a booth at the National Eucharistic Congress. There must have been about 200 booths total in that location area. Now, we kept 3 booths for ourselves, and I think the creative way we use those is what I want to stress. The first booth that we had was our main booth. We called it our engagement booth because it was right at the entrance to the vocation pavilion. Everybody had to walk by our booth to get to the pavilion. And as they were walking by, you know what? We told them about the mission of Serra and our work in vocations. We also were able to engage with seminarians and priests who are visiting and just remind them of the way we're affirming their vocation. So that was our first booth. Our second booth, we called it the prayer booth, and we invite if anybody passing by to give us petitions, different prayers, different things that they would like us to be praying for, especially in the area of affirming vocations. You know, if there was a priest or religious out there who just needed a little extra prayer, we invited participants just to write that down on a little sticky note. We also asked for them to write down people who might be discerning so that we could pray for them. And then finally, just other ways to be promoting vocations. If there was a diocese that needed a little bit of help, let's have some prayer petition for them. So we took all those stickies, we put them on large sheets of paper, and we're taking that with us to our rally in January. We'll continue to pray for those petitions, but then we will also have our closing mass offered specifically for them. And then finally, our third booth, probably the most important booth, we called it the Parents Booth. So this booth was manned by Serrans who were parents of priests or religious. And they invited passerbys who might have a child who was discerning, or parents who were struggling letting a child discern. And we invited them to sit down and talk one-on-one with a Serran who's actually experienced what they're going through. Questions like, you know, do I really want my son to be a priest? What about grandchildren? Will my daughter be lonely if she's a religious sister? They could ask those kinds of questions and many others, and there was a Serran who'd experienced this that was right there to help them with that question and give them the answer they needed. You know, the time we spent at the National Eucharistic Congress, 5 days, the fruits from that are going to be with us for many years. The people whose lives we touched, the people who touched us, and most importantly, it was promoting that dedication to the Eucharist and hoping to have more people fall in love with our Eucharistic Lord. Great work for the Serrans in the United States this past year. God bless.
Hello, my name is Chris Kelly. I'm President of Serra, Great Britain. I want to give you an overview of the work we're doing in Serra in Great Britain. We represent 5 clubs, 2 in Scotland and 3 in England. Our numbers may well be small, but we are highly active and can assure you the work we do is helping to promote vocations to the priesthood and consecrated religious life. The diaconate comes into our language more frequently these days. The vigil for vocations, which started here in Scotland, is still going strong both here in Great Britain and indeed around the world. We have a vigil at least twice a year in Scotland, once in the parishes and once in our university chaplaincy. Holy hours are currently throughout the year, with rosary for vocations in a number of parishes, usually before and after morning mass. We have a website which has a great deal of resource to help promote vocations. The Rosary for Vocations is promoted at every opportunity where prayer groups meet throughout Great Britain. A newsletter known as Focus GB is published every 3 months and circulated round the world, promoting vocations and increasing our faith knowledge in line with the liturgical calendar, fulfilling the 3 main objectives of our apostolate. We work a great deal with schools, usually 6-year pupils, when young people are discerning their future careers. We hope and pray that they may include a religious vocation in their career options. We have made a positive response to the Serra International Strategic Plan and hope to implement many of the ideas stemmed from this in the future. Thanks for listening. Yours in Serra, Chris Kelly.